Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week Wisdom and Legacy podcast. This is day 548 of our trek, and today is Philosophy Friday. Every Friday, we'll ponder some of the basic truths and mysteries of life and how they can impact us in creating our living legacy. Currently, we are on an extended multi-week trek as we explore the teachings of some of my virtual mentors, such as Jim Rohn, Ziglar, and Earl Nightingale. The core of the current trek is based primarily on Jim Rohn's book, The 5 Major Pieces to the Life Puzzle. I have learned considerable amount from reading and rereading this book on my own trek of life, and I trust that you'll benefit from it also. Keeping with the continuity of Wisdom Trek, though, I have adapted it to the 5 Trails on Life's Trek. We are broadcasting from our studio at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. We continue our extended trek today on the Trail of Results. Last week, we started this trail and focused on how we can achieve predictable results. This week, we'll expand on this trail as we explore how to measure those results. If you have missed any of the past few Philosophy Friday treks, it would be good to go back and get caught up on our progress so far. We have a lot of ground to cover today, so let's break camp and start on the 4th trail of this extended trek as we cover the 5 Trails on Life's Trek, Results Part 2. As a reminder, our overall extended trek covers these 5 trails: philosophy, attitude, activity, results, and lifestyle. And today we want to focus on how to measure your results. The results of your past efforts can be measured in several different ways. The first way to measure your results is by looking at what you have. The most common ways to consider is your home, cars, bank accounts, investments, and all other tangible assets as a good measuring rod for your material progress. But your assets reflect only one aspect of your current value. To measure your financial value, you merely examine your assets. But it is one aspect of your total value, and not to suggest that the only way to measure your value is by the list of your material possessions. There are all kinds of wealth, and the greatest fortunes in life are the non-material assets that you have in your life, such as joy, health, love, family, experiences, and friendship. These assets will always outweigh the value of your material possessions that you might acquire. That being understood, you can reflect on what you have accumulated over the years in the form of material assets as a good indicator of your past efforts and possible future results. The non-material assets you possess will follow a similar pattern. If you currently have a significant accumulation of money and material possessions, you're probably well on your way toward achieving that dream known as financial independence. With that financial freedom comes the options to choose your non-material assets that you are able to accumulate. If your list of assets are rather meager, despite your efforts over the last 10, 20, or 30 years of labor, then it is a good indicator that something needs to change in your life. You may need to make some major changes in your current level of activity to increase your results. You may need to increase your skill or your knowledge or your awareness to take advantage of life's opportunities. You may need to make some adjustment in your philosophy about money and to your attitude about what expenditures constitutes worthwhile investments. If you are not satisfied with what you have achieved at this point in your life, then it is now time to fix the future, and it is never too late to start regardless of your age. Unless you change how you are right now, then what you have will always be about the same as it is today. Going back to the principle of planting and harvesting will clearly show that the same seed sown by the same sower will inevitably produce the same harvest. For the harvest to change, it may be necessary to change the seed, the soil, or most likely, the activity of the sower. Perhaps as a sower you insist on using a plan that simply cannot work. It may be that you as a sower believes that the sowing should be done in the summer instead of the spring. When winter arrives though, the sower's need is great. You may be found standing in a barren field condemning the circumstances of your failure because the soil did not yield the promised harvest. A situation like this would be an ideal time to measure and assess the reasons why your soil did not cooperate with your ill-conceived plan. You must measure and assess why you achieved less than expected, and you must guard against complaining and compiling yet another list of reasons for your unfortunate dilemma. Everything you acquired is a result of your past efforts and your past thoughts. You either gather intelligence or you gather ignorance, and your future will produce rewards in the same measure with what you have done in the past. You must use your time to plan, to labor, to measure, to invest, to share, to refine activity, and to add to your storehouse of knowledge and wisdom. These are the seeds that you must gather along the way so that the quality of your results will improve with each passing year. Another important way to measure your results is take a closer look at what you have become. What sort of people have you attracted in your life? Are you well respected by your co-workers and neighbors? Do you honor your beliefs? Do you try to see someone else's point of view? Are you listening to your children? Do you express sincere appreciation to your parents, your spouse, and to your friends? Are you honest and ethical in all your business transactions? Are you known for your unwavering integrity among your peers? Do you stand out in a good way because you still march to a beat of a different drum in a world that so desperately needs your light? Are you happy with who you are and what you have become? What you have become is a result of your past experiences and how you have handled them. What you have become is also a result of your personal changes that you have either voluntarily or involuntarily made over the years. If you are not happy with what you have become, you must change what you are. For things to change in your world, you must change. This is one of life's fundamentals. This is the law of planting and harvesting. Living a rich and satisfying life is not easy, especially during the times of planting and nurturing of your crops, but the reward of the harvest is always worthwhile. As Psalms chapter 126 verses 5 and 6 tells us, those who plant in tears will harvest with shouts of joy. They weep as they go to plant their seeds, but they sing as they return with the harvest. We are deliberately taking our trek slowly on the 5 trails on Life's Trek as we continue to hike today on our trail of results. Today you learn that you must measure and assess the results of your labor in order to change the results of the future. This is the basic fundamentals of the law of planting and harvesting. Next Philosophy Friday, we will explore the topic of that you attract what you have by the person that you have become. So join us next Friday for these additional insights. I know that you'll find these insights interesting and profitable in living the rich and satisfying life. Our next trek will be on Monday, where we will continue our series called The Tools in Gramps' Backpack, and we will equip you with the tools needed to impact the lives of others. So encourage your friends and families to join us and then come along with us on Monday for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. If you'd like to listen to any of the past daily treks or read the associated journals, they are available at wisdom-trek.com. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and then leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you on Monday.